This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Hello everybody, welcome to Mike's Mike. My name is apparently Mike. I can't confirm or deny that. And today I'm going to be talking about David Fincher's 2014 film Gone Girl. Girl, the gonery, the gonification of the girl. I feel like it was only a matter of time before I talked about this movie. I love it. I love it. It is a very, very, very good film, and it has ties to a specific day in February, so it makes sense that I'd be talking about it now. Director David Fincher referred to Gone Girl as high seriousness in little dishes of candy, and I feel like that is the perfect way to describe it. A lot of intense, dark, heavy things happen in this story, but it's also just so, you know what I mean? Like, it is tongue out dog. The synopsis of Gone Girl is very succinct. The husband of a missing woman becomes the main suspect in her disappearance. And at face value, that is what we're expecting from this film. What that synopsis doesn't tell you is that Rosamund Pike applied for a job at Mother Enterprises, and before the interview was done, she'd already generated a record profit for the company. She walked out of that room and said, "Light work." She is such a talented actress, and side note, is like fluent in Chinese, which gagged me a bit.
恭喜发财.
Random piece of me lore that I don't know if I've dropped before, but at university, I studied Chinese for a year. 你好吗？我很好，你呢？我不知道。Crank it! Anyway, Amy Dunn has got to be one of the most interesting film characters of the 2010s. And kinda no one has ever been more blonde lady with a plan. Like, she is blonde lady. And my God, does she have a plan? I like this quote from the author of the Gone Girl novel, Gillian Flynn, who actually also did the screenplay for the film. The one thing that really frustrates me is this idea that women are innately good, innately nurturing. To me, that puts a very, very small window on what feminism is. For me, it's also the ability to have women who are bad characters. There's still a big pushback against the idea that women can just be pragmatically evil. Yay! It is just so exciting to sit down, watch a movie, and on your screen is an evil woman with a bob and a soundtrack by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Like, what more could you want? Ben Affleck is also really good in this movie. Well, maybe not really good, but definitely good. For me, he drops this 5-star movie to a 4.5-star movie, and I'll explain why when I talk more about Affleck's character, Nick Dunn. Hold on. Nick starts with an N. Rosamund Pike's last name starts with P. She plays Amy. Amy has 3 letters, 1, 2, 3. The third letter of David Fincher is V. You're kidding. VPN. This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Surfshark VPN, or Virtual Private Network, encrypts all of the data sent between your device and the internet, keeping your online identity safe. Something relevant, but also spoiler-free, moving around the place, being somewhere and then suddenly being somewhere else. With over 4,500 servers in 140 locations, Surfshark lets you access and unblock content libraries and streaming services all around the world. And if you're traveling, you can connect back to your country to watch your favorite shows. Now, something central to Gone Girl is key individuals and companies influencing people's perception of the situation. They are shadowy figures with their grimy fingers in there. Just like how there are nefarious characters and companies wanting your data when you browse online. Surfshark secures your personal information and encrypts your online data so you can browse safely. You can send or receive files securely, access banking safely, even if you're on public Wi-Fi networks. And Surfshark doesn't monitor, track, or store what you do online either. Go to surfshark.com/Mike's Mike. You can click the link in the description or use my code Mike's Mike at checkout. That's MIKESMIC to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk for you to try it out. Thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. That segue was just pure class. So the very start of this film is a voiceover of Nick Dunn saying,
"When I think of my wife, I always think of her head.
I picture cracking her lovely skull, unspooling her brains, trying to get answers." Oh. This is over the top of Rosamund Pike's Amy Dunn laying on Nick's lap and turning her head to look at him. The primal questions of any marriage. What are you thinking? How are you feeling?
What have we done to each other?"
Pretty iconic to have one of the most recognizable shots from the film be the very first. Cracking her lovely skull, unspooling her brains. Oh, that's pretty damning word choice there, buddy. We are in the fictional town of North Carthage, Missouri. The town is waking up. Everything is quiet and bluish. I'm blue in Missouri, wanna die. Even though it's a small town compared to where the main characters used to live, New York, it feels unsettlingly large at times on purpose. And I'll point out a couple of examples when, does that say produced by Reese Witherspoon? Well, Yes, it's actually quite interesting. Reese Witherspoon's production company bought the rights to adapt Gone Girl in 2011 with Reese herself on as Amy Dunn. When David Fincher joined the project, he said, on the podcast Las Culturistas, which is amazing by the way, Reese said, David sat me down, and this is not on David, but David's like, you're totally wrong for this part and I'm not putting you in it. I had all these conversations with the writer Gillian Flynn and she was like, no, I'd really like you to do it. But Fincher was like, you're wrong. Okay, T. Reese Witherspoon, more like Reese without a job. In reverse and black and white. I do wonder what this film would have looked like if Reese Witherspoon was Amy Dunn. The role is just so Rosamund Pike in my head that I can't see anyone else doing it. I just don't know if Reese Witherspoon can do evil lady like that. So at 7 a.m, Nick Dunn is awake. He looks so, Monday vibes. Very much those pictures of Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette. Was going to say that's probably why he got cast, but apparently that photo was from 2016, 2 years after this film came out. What the hell? Apparently David Fincher cast Ben Affleck after seeing his smile online, and you'll see why that's important. Anyway, Nick gets in his Volvo XC90 and drives to the bar he owns called The Bar. He co-owns The Bar with his twin sister Margot, played by Carrie Coon. I have a confession to make. I've seen this movie like 3 times, and the first 2 times I didn't realize that Margot was Carrie Coon. The black hair and glasses genuinely bamboozled me. I really do empathize with the people that did not realize Miley Cyrus was Hannah Montana. Like, I get it. Anyway, Nick walks into the bar. Here's a joke for ya. Nick walks into a bar. Dumb. He walks in holding a board game for the bar and gives it to Margot, who puts it on a pile of other board games. He's holding Mastermind. That game was my shit. I was basically ATP Tour top 10 Masterminders in the world. If there was a Wimbledon of Mastermind, I would have won it. In Mastermind, you have a code maker and a code breaker. And I'm flagging that because old mate David Fincher loves a game. There are so many game references in his movies. And Gone Girl is a really good example because of how the story unfolds. It's turn-based. Nick, Amy, even more so in the book where there's Amy chapters and Nick chapters. I read an analysis of the film in this book about David Fincher and they describe this really well. Gone Girl's parade of reversals and turn-based approach to storytelling create the impression of a live-action board game, one whose rules, boundaries, and objectives are inscribed within the mise-en-scène. Very interesting. Nick asks Margot for a glass of bourbon and says that he's having a bad day. Well, honey, it's about to get a whole lot worse. It's his 5-year wedding anniversary with Amy, which is not why his day is going to get bad. Well, cut to Amy Dunn writing in her journal, January 8th, 2005.
I'm so crazy, stupid, happy.
She's writing about the sweet, smart, gorgeous, cool-ass guy she met at a party, Nick. When she met Nick, it was Bantercella, and they were bop, 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 a perfect match, rom-com origin vibes. He asks who she is, and she says, A, I'm an award-winning scrimshander. B, I'm a moderately influential warlord. C, I write personality quizzes for magazines. Obviously it's C, but B... Why is that kinda... Both Amy and Nick are writers. He writes for a men's magazine. She says, you must be writing some bullshit in that magazine because you have a villainous chin.
Okay, how's this? 100% true. No bullshit.
They leave the party and Nick takes her for a walk past a bakery that's offloading sugar and they walk through the sugar clouds.
I have to kiss you now. Can't let you go through a sugar storm unkissed.
It's very romantic. This crazy frame though. Her corpse serve. Back to Nick's turn. He's at capital T, capital B, the bar, playing the game of life with Margot.
Life. I don't remember the point.
They're talking about Amy's anniversary treasure hunts, and the way Nick talks about Amy, it's very different to how they were interacting in the diary entry meet cute flashback. Clearly a lot has changed in 5 years. Now the gift theme for the 5th anniversary is wood. Nick's like, I don't know what to get her, there's no good present for wood, and Margot says,
I know. Go home, fuck her brains out, slap her with your penis. There's some wood for you, bitch.
huh? Mind you, she's saying that shit to her twin brother. Nick gets a call from his neighbor saying that Nick's cat got out and is walking around. It's small town vibes, like everyone, keeps in contact. So Nick goes home and sees that the front door to the house is open. He goes inside. Amy isn't there. The coffee table is tipped over and shattered. It looks like there was a struggle. He calls the police. This lady, yes. I really like this actress, Kim Dickens. She was working in Fear the Walking Dead. I just know she was waking up every morning like, I have to go to work. I have to go to work. She's playing Detective Rhonda Boney, and she's going to be our sort of grounding character. We're sort of working things out as she works things out, except she doesn't have the context of the diary entries yet. She and Officer Gilpin pull up to Nick and Amy's house, and Nick is way too chill for potentially having a missing wife. The public is about to hate his apparent apathy.
Now, I don't panic easily, but it's weird, right?
Nick says that he and Amy lived in New York and then 2 years ago moved out to Missouri when Nick's mother got sick. Detective Boney's walking around the house looking for clues, Scooby-Doo style. She finds spatterings of blood all over the kitchen. Da-dum, da-dum. Situations like that, you got to drop in Emily Fields. Dum, 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 dum. Backpack. Dum, 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 dum. The way I just kept going, I could keep going. I could do that for like minutes. I do that for minutes. In Amy's office, Detective Boney discovers that Amy Dunn inspired Amazing Amy, a fictional character.
Wait a minute. Your wife is Amazing Amy?
Now for Amy's turn of the game. She's writing in her diary again.
Amazing fucking Amy is getting fucking married.
Flashback to the night her parents launched a book about Amazing Amy getting married. Real Amy is jealous of Amazing Amy.
When I was 10, I quit cello. In the next book, Amazing Amy became a prodigy.
Growing up with your parents writing about you but a slightly better version has to create some sort of mental issue, a competitive streak at least. A bunch of reporters are like, is it hard for you to see Amazing Amy head down the aisle when you yourself are not married? And then at the party, Nick proposes to her.
And then the night wasn't so bad anymore.
It's another happy, yay, yay, yay flashback. Back in current time, Nick is having DNA samples taken at the police station. Detective Boney's like, we're going to treat this as a missing persons case. And Nick's like, what the hell?
All of a sudden, I feel like I'm in a Law and Order episode. Da, 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 da.
Not funny. He's really giving guilty. Like, why are you cracking jokes when your wife is missing? And Ben Affleck is so good at playing buffoon. But I wouldn't say he does an amazing job at playing guy who potentially murdered his wife. Like, he just seems too lazy to do that. More on that later. Detective Oomphy is like, do you want to call a lawyer or anything? And Nick's like, nah, I just want help. I mean, I didn't do anything, so why would I need a lawyer? Oomphy asks Nick, what does Amy do all day? This educated woman with all these degrees all over the walls of her home office, what does she do all day?
Oh, she keeps busy.
Doing what?
Yeah, I mean...
It's crickets from Nick. Does she have any friends? You suck. They ask what he was doing that morning before he went to capital T, capital B, the bar. And he says that he went to the beach to read a newspaper. Right. Zero alibi. Oomphy asks what Amy's blood type is. Crickets again. You don't know if she has friends. You don't know what she does all day. And you don't know your wife's blood type? Ooh.
Should I know my wife's blood type?
Nick calls Amy's parents to tell them what's happening and to tell them that the police are organizing a press conference for the next day. It's all happening very fast. While at the police station, Nick sees that his father is there. He's not well and apparently wandered out of his nursing home, and Nick drives him back there. The sick father aspect of the story, I was kind of like, why do we need this? Why is this relevant? It does explain some of Nick's behavior later, but overall, I don't think we need this character. Like, if they took this character out of the movie, I don't think we'd lose anything. Diary entry in pencil. July 5, 2009.
Everyone told us marriage is hard work.
She writes about how for her and Nick, after 2 years, that's not true. It's just good. Second anniversary present, cotton. They're so in sync that they bought each other the same sheets.
We're so cute. I want to punch us in the face.
Back to now, Nick is staying with Margot. He keeps checking his phone. Margot says, just because I don't like to be around Amy doesn't mean I don't care about her.
Anyway, whoever took her is bound to bring her back.
Ooh, she does not like her. At the Dunn house, forensics are doing a sweep and things are looking sus. The blood spatter in the kitchen is too high to be some sort of cooking accident. In Amy's unmentionables in the bedroom, Detective Oomphy finds a clue. This clue would be for the anniversary treasure hunt Amy would have set up before whatever happened. Next day, press conference. Amy's parents have arrived for it. Nick gets in front of the cameras and says basically, hey guys, my wife disappeared. If you have any tips, come forward. Thanks. That's it.
Thank you.
Like, he sucks. He's kind of just giving like handsome slug. The parents give an emotional speech and say how they've set up a volunteer headquarters and have a website, www.findamazingamy.com, pretty much highlighting how much Nick just bombed the press conference. Also, them finding a way to promote the Amazing Amy book series in this website made for tips about their missing daughter. Bruh. Everyone in this movie is hyper aware of optics and the media circus. Like, they know people are going to go to the website, so why not do a little bit of promo? Also, yes, I went to the website, and yes, it does redirect to the Disney homepage. This next scene of Nick posing next to Amy's missing person poster. Are you Ooh, that is just foul. Not him doing the bear smirk next to his wife's missing person poster. That, in comparison to this, very funny. Amy's parents tell the police that Amy's had a bunch of stalkers in the past, including Desi Collins, whom they had to get a restraining order against, and ex-boyfriend Tommy O'Hara. They broke up, he got physical, she pressed charges. It was apparently very bad. The police give Nick Amy's clue to solve so that they can track her movements. The clue leads to Nick's office, and clue 2 is there, but Detective Boney also finds some red panties in the office. Nasty behavior. Somehow I have a relevant personal story to the panties in the office. To make a long story short, at my old gym, I was running on the treadmill. My friend was coming out of a spin class. He walks out of the spin class. I say, "Hey Josh, how are you?" Talking to Josh. Suddenly, the instructor from the spin class comes outside. He says, "Hey guys, do one of you own this?" We look down. There's a pair of panties on the floor. Some panties, like real legit panties. And the instructor says to us, "Is this yours?" These dirty panties on the gym floor. We're literally looking like, when do you think we dropped these dirty panties on the gym floor? Do you think my friend got off the bike and dropped them there? Do you think I threw them while on the treadmill? Also, why would we have these? So yeah, that's the panties incident. So clue 2 from Nick's office talks about a little brown house. Nick says that he doesn't know what it's referring to, but later goes to his father's old house to look for the next clue. Sus that he wouldn't just tell the police that that's what clue 2 refers to. When he gets to his dad's old house, the alarm goes off and he tries to disarm it, but he keeps getting the code wrong, so it's still blaring, which tips off the police. He did find the next clue though, and he hides it.
I thought maybe this was a little brown house.
Nope, still blue.
2010 diary entry. Recession. Both losing their jobs. Her trust fund being drained because her parents got dropped from their publisher. Amazing Amy, who's the flop now? Suddenly, Nick is a bum. Chinese takeout boxes and what looks like Call of Duty.
More games?
Yeah, just want to shoot some folks.
Me when I play Fortnite. Then Nick's mother gets stage 4 breast cancer and he and Amy move to Missouri. Back to now. Nick arrives to a circus at the volunteer headquarters and it looks bad because he doesn't know shit about this whole operation of people looking for his missing wife. It's all about the spectacle after all. Amy's parents are watching him. Detective Boney is watching him. These women are watching him. Nick's looking at this guy. Is that Amy's stalker Desi Collins? And is he wearing the Italian Tour Carrera sunglasses? Now, one of the Dunn's neighbours, Noelle Hawthorne, had introduced herself to Detective Oomphy as Amy's best friend. Well, I'll be. Like, she's got friends. But when Oomphy asks Nick about Noelle at the convention, he's like, "Who the hell is that?" So you apparently don't know your wife's best friend?
Well, you really don't like him, do you?
What's to like?
Exactly. Like, what's to like? Nick goes to follow sus Desi Collins and gets approached by this woman in the hall. Her hair, oh my God, obsessed. Why is it kind of giving, did you just sit here and say that my daughter looks miserable, so maybe you should put Kalani in her place? No, I never said that. Yes, you most certainly did. No, I didn't, dingbat. Listen, I said, Brooke, is your mother speaking for you? Get your finger out of my face. Girls out the room. This lady's fawning over Nick and saying,
"I'm gonna fix you up my world famous chicken Frito pie."
she's like grabbing his arm. You have to keep your strength.
Would you say chicken Frito pie?
Why is bro smiling? He's actually like, why am I smiling? Guys, he's learning sorta. And he asks her to delete the picture.
Could you please not share that with me?
I will share it with whomever I please.
He's got groupies. Full stop, no comma. His wife is missing, and he's got groupies. New character, news lady Ellen Abbott.
Look at that pie-eating grin from a guy whose wife is missing.
Again, all about the spectacle. Margot's watching this like, hey twin, are you telling me everything? Hey twin, did you like kill someone low-key? Diary entry, 2010. Amy's in Missouri now with no money. She says, I feel like something he loaded by mistake. Something to be jettisoned if necessary. Something disposable.
I feel like I could disappear.
Jettisoned is such a classy word to use. Just pure class, our first lady. Back to now. Nick gets a text from an unsaved number saying, I'm outside. Who's outside? Well, it's Emily Ratajkowski as Nick's student, Andy, and she's all over him.
Sister's asleep in the other room.
I needed to see him.
I know this is bad idea.
Right, so he's sleeping with one of his students. Ezra Fitz method. Ezra Fitz strategy. Ezra Fitz technique. The sentence, did you leave a pair of red panties in my office? Oh my God, bruh. Andy says, you were going to get a divorce.
Never say that out loud again.
Mona, don't say that. Don't ever say that. Then they have sex in Margot, his twin sister's living room. What the fuck? Diary entry, 2011.
My husband has come undone.
At this point, Nick's mother had died. Nick uses me for sex, otherwise I don't exist. Amy says to Nick that she's thinking about having a baby. They argue about it, and he pushes her into the stairs.
What scared me was how much he wanted to hurt me more.
What scared me was that I'd finally realized
I am frightened of my own husband.
Back to now. Detective Oomphy and Officer Gilpin go to the abandoned mall to see if Amy had been involved with drugs. This frame here is a good example of what I mentioned about the cozy town having expansive spaces. Like, that's fucking scary. And there definitely would have been tighter ways to frame this, but Fincher went with this unsettling shot. Oomphy asks if anyone down there had seen Amy around. And someone says that she was down there, but not looking for drugs. She was looking for a gun on Valentine's Day.
For Valentine's Day, I thought I'd buy a gun.
Why I wanna buy a gun because my name is Amy Dunn. Hey! She's writing in her diary that Nick wants her gone. Gone? Gone girl? Back to now. Nick rushes Andy out of Margot's house.
You fucking idiot.
And he's true. Margot tears him a new one about this, and rightfully so. The optics of the guy whose wife is missing having a secret early 20s girlfriend who he told he was going to divorce his wife to be with. Oh. Mind you, early 20s, yet says he's known her for a year and a half. Oh, let me do the maths. Oh, he studied Ezra Fitzology. Margot says that the media is all over Nick.
I mean, what is wrong with his barkeep?
They watch Ellen Abbott, and she's interviewing defense attorney Tanner Bolt, lawyer and mouthpiece for guilty husbands.
I'm so sick of being picked apart by women.
What an interesting thing to say. Nick goes home. The cat is judging him. The kitchen analysis results have come in. Amy's blood is everywhere. Looks like there would have been some kind of blunt force trauma with a weapon. Nick goes to an Amy vigil. He does a speech, and this time he's clued in and actually puts some emotion into it because he's aware of how he needs to look for the public. He's saying how much he loves Amy, and Andy's in the crowd mad. While he's saying all this, Noelle Hawthorne pops up saying,
"What did you do to your pregnant wife?"
Oh my god. Also, the decision to shoot Nick running away from the cameras as shaky cam.
Don't run!
Oh, that was too good. Let's get the bill. Nick tells Boney that Noelle didn't even know Amy. And she's like, they look like pretty good friends to me. Detective Oomphy's not having it anymore. She tells Nick that the home invasion scenario looked wrong from the start.
The whole thing looks staged. I mean, watch this.
That the kitchen has Amy's blood everywhere. They're basically telling Nick that he's looking real sus. There's also a bunch of credit card debt showing up.
I didn't buy any of this stuff.
In April, you bumped up Amy's life insurance. He's like, yes, I did, because she wanted me to. Then Boney gets a call.
She was pregnant.
Nick says he now wants a lawyer. Margot's like, hey twin, you told me you didn't want kids, and now it looks like your wife got pregnant and suddenly disappeared. Nick's adamant that Amy didn't want kids. To prove it, he shows Margot evidence from the fertility clinic that he did his part and Amy was the one that didn't want to follow through. Nick saying he wanted a baby with Amy is a direct contradiction to the diary entry / flashback of Amy saying she wanted a baby and him pushing her into the staircase. So somebody's lying. Also, the letter from the clinic that he showed Margot was in a box with other Amy related things, such as the prenup she made him sign.
It's like a little box of hate.
I don't know, go.
Maybe I hate her.
Interesting that he says, maybe I hate her instead of hated her. Margot's like, hey, twin, are you sure you're telling me everything? Like, are you sure? Detective Oomphy's like, let's investigate the dad's house again. Why would Nick have gone there? So she goes to the basement and looks in the furnace. Inside is Amy's half-burned diary. Meanwhile, Nick is trying to solve Amy's clue. It's where you keep goodies for anniversary 5. Woodshed. He runs to Margot's woodshed and sees all the things that were bought with the credit card just sitting there, like he'd bought them and stashed them in his twin sister's woodshed. Boney's reading Amy's last diary entry. I will practice believing my husband loves me and will love this baby. That this child might really save our marriage. But I could be wrong, because sometimes the way he looks at me, I think, man of my dreams, father of my child, this man of mine, he may kill me.
He may truly kill me.
And then this delicious dolly zoom showing Nick's world closing in around him as he realizes he just got fucking played. And then something truly cinema happens. Something so cinema, so film, so movies. It's the half point of the movie. We cut to black. And then...
I am so much happier now that I'm dead.
Yes! 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 Chills, bro. Oh my god. It's really chilly in here. This frame here, I could go on and on about. The difference in color tone compared to the previous scenes. The framing of the bloodied bandage right in the center. Her hair being wild when up until now everything about her presentation has been so precise. Ugh. And you can even hear from that one line how Rosamund Pike has switched over to a different version of Amy.
I am so much happier now that I'm dead.
She sounds angry and scary. She sounds very different to the non-confrontational Amy we've seen so far.
Technically missing, soon to be presumed dead. Gone.
Gone, girl. Hey! Go gone, girl. She's throwing pens out the window, starting with the one we just saw her using. And my lazy, lying, cheating, oblivious husband will go to prison for my murder.
Nick Dunn took my pride and my dignity and my hope and my money.
He took and took from me until I no longer existed.
That's murder. Let the punishment fit the crime.
The delivery of that line. So Amy Dunn is very much alive and very intentionally framing Nick for her murder. She goes into detail about how she did it, and as she does, we can see how she's gone from being someone constantly being controlled to being the one in control. Step 1.
Befriend a local idiot.
She told Noelle all these stories about Nick's violent temper. Step 2. Make up some money troubles. The website she's ordering from being called Lifestyle Robots. Oh, because everyday humdrum married suburban life turned her and Nick into lifestyle robots. Step 3, bump up your life insurance, then buy a getaway car, fake a pregnancy to garner support when you go missing. She stole some of Noelle's urine, her pee, to get a positive pregnancy test. Like, she thought of everything. On the day of the gonification, Nick goes off to start his day and Amy starts setting up the house. Meticulously stage your crime scene with just enough mistakes to raise the specter of doubt. Oh, she is too good. We need an Amy Dunn Fortnite skin. She then gets a heap of blood out of herself for a head wound kind of bleed, a crime scene kind of bleed.
You need to clean poorly, like he would.
Her getting those little digs in throughout her explanation. Ooh, she hates him. Or she at least hated who he became. Then she staged a potential weapon in the fireplace, and then the piece de resistance.
You need a diary. Minimum 300 entries on the Nick and Amy story.
Entries about real and true things at the start.
After that, you invent.
Her voiceover implies that she made up all the spending, abuse, and fear. She then seared the diary in Nick's dad's house and changed the alarm so that when Nick went to get the next clue, the police would be alerted to the existence of the house. It's genius. Also, the lady who wrote this book, genius. Pure genius. The next part of her plan is interesting. She says she's going to drug and drown herself so that the police will find her body.
Then Nick will die too.
Then Nick will die too, because Missouri has the death penalty. She's willing to kill herself to make sure he dies. You might be wondering, why couldn't she just, you know? Well, because she wants everyone to hate Nick. She wants the spectacle to be part of it. But yeah, she's planning to exit.
Nick and Amy will be gone. but then we never really existed.
Undead Amy says that Nick loved a girl she was pretending to be.
Cool girl. Men always use that, don't they? As their defining compliment.
We then get the cool girl monologue. Oh my god. It's almost fucked up how good this monologue is.
She's a cool girl. Cool girl is hot. Cool girl is game. Cool girl is fun.
And this paired with the visuals of Amy looking uncharacteristically ratty, tens. She likes what he likes. If he likes girls gone wild, she's a mall babe who talks football and endures buffalo wings at Hooters. The way she's projecting all of this onto random women that are just driving past. Amy says that she tried to be cool girl for Nick.
I lived in the moment. I was fucking game.
She does say they were happy for a while, and it sounds like she believes that.
But Nick got lazy. He became someone I did not agree to marry.
He actually expected me to love him unconditionally. Then Amy says she knew that Nick was cheating on her because he found a new cool girl.
You think I'd let him destroy me and end up happier than ever? No fucking way.
Hey! Something interesting about this monologue is how it's sometimes misconstrued in edits. People take out sections of it to make it, yes, badass, but leave out the context of Amy being so contemptuous when describing what a cool girl is. She's not describing cool girl in a nice way. She's not saying cool girl is who you want to be. She's saying cool girl is someone women turn themselves into to satisfy men. So Amy's changed her appearance, driven and checked into some random motel thing. She even whacks herself in the face with a hammer to make it look like she's been beaten. Isn't whacking cheekbones with a hammer something that those online men do? Okay, so now we're going back to Nick. He shows Margot all the shit in her woodshed.
Fucking bitch.
Ow! There's also an anniversary present in there. It's Punch and Judy puppets, whatever the hell that is.
Remember, he beats Judy to death and kills that baby.
Nick and Margot realize that Amy's framing him for her murder and that Missouri has the death penalty. So now Margot is fully on board with Nick. At the motel, Amy's giving herself options. She meets her neighbor Greta and introduces herself as Nancy.
I'm Greta. I'm Nancy.
The accent, lol. She's cosplaying. Amy keeps up with the media coverage of her disappearance. She's loving it. She's like addicted to it. When she's waiting for the website to load, she's like... She goes to the Find Amy website and holds on. That's the wrong number. It's supposed to be 1-855-4 Amy Tips. Anyway, she bonds with Greta, telling her a real story about how she caught Nick cheating with Andy, obviously not using their actual names. We see this in a flashback. He does the same Sugar Storm lip thing to Andy that he did to Amy that time.
He leaned in and did this.
And the flashback has the same soundtrack as when we see it for Nick and Amy. Wow, 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 wow. Nancy and Greta watch Ellen Abbott.
Amy would have loved you and all you do for women.
Oh, that's nice.
Abbott's got Nick in her crosshairs. When Noelle talks about Amy, Greta says,
"Seems like a rich bitch to me."
So Amy spits in her drink.
Why was that, Noelle?
The way Mountain Dew always looks fucking nuclear. Ellen Abbott's also on TV implying that Nick and Margot are a bit too close. Hey twin. Amy's loving it. She then leaves an anonymous tip about Margot's woodshed. Leaving anonymous tips is part of her plan. Each action has a sticky note. Nick goes to New York to meet with the lawyer Tanner Bolt. Bolt says how Amy is winning the case because she's telling the perfect story and has the public on side. They think she's America's sweetheart. Bolt tells Nick to look up other people Amy had potentially screwed with in the past. So Nick meets with Tommy O'Hara. Tommy says that he and Amy dated, and then when they broke up, she lied and said that he assaulted her and he ended up on a sex offender list. Nick then goes to visit Desi Collins. Nick tells him that Amy said she dumped him, and then he stalked and threatened her and was institutionalized after trying to Kermit the Frog in Amy's bed. Nick's standing at Desi's door like, is there another side to that story? But Desi shuts the door in his face. On his way home, Nick sees that capital T, capital B, the bar, has a crowd outside taking photos. Bro, the spectacle, it's giving true crime obsession. Detective Oomphy is getting stink vibes from the semi-burnt diary. Like someone threw a stink bomb. Right. Fortnite Bed Wars, anyone? The scan and stink method. No. She's wondering, why would Nick go to all that effort to destroy the diary and then not make sure it actually burnt? Tanner Bolt tells Nick and Margot that there must have been something at their father's house because Amy left evidence for the police at all the other clue locations. Panties in the office, presents in the woodshed. Girl, it's the diary, but they don't know that. Tanner also says that 20-year-old Andy is a time bomb and that she will go public, so they need to reveal the affair first. They also need to tell the police about the woodshed, except Amy already did that. Meanwhile, Amy's decided that she's not gonna end her shit. The kill self sticky note is officially off the calendar. When playing mini golf with Greta and Greta's new side piece, Jeff, Amy says,
Why should I die? I'm not the asshole.
She then drops her fanny pack, which they see.
Miss Moneybags.
Ruh-roh. The next day, Greta and Jeff turn up at Amy's house and steal her money. Greta could see through Amy's cosplay.
You say her name's Nancy, but you don't even answer to it half the time.
In that book I read from, they refer to this as Amy's class tourism. The last thing Greta says before running off with Amy's money is, there are a lot of people out there a lot worse than we are. Bruh, they don't know who they're talking to. So Amy's like, what the fuck do I do now? She's got no money and not a lot of options. You know who does have money? Desi Collins. So she meets up with him. She tells him everything, that Nick tried to kill her. Desi's like, you can just come live with me at my lake house. He's no good Samaritan either. The way every character is a bit evil, his thing is control and possession. He was obsessed with Amy, so now having her all to himself and her be totally dependent on him is exactly what he wants. Tanner Bolt wants Nick to go on a big talk show and confess to cheating on Amy. He says something that really summarizes what a whole chunk of this movie is about.
This case is about what people think of you. They need to like you.
So he trains Nick and throws gummy bears at him when he's not doing a good job.
Things have been building up. Built up implies that an explosion is coming. No.
Nick's also planning to communicate directly with Amy through the interview. He wears a watch that Amy bought him and a tie that Amy bought him. Then the news breaks that Andy exists. She's doing a press conference with Amy's parents.
Oh, you little slut.
My name is Andy Fitzgerald.
She says, I don't think Nick would have killed for me, which pisses Amy off because she is supposed to be the main character. Who is this girl? Nick's grand plan was to go on the talk show and reveal his affair, but now that's blown up, but he's still going to do the interview. Talking to Tanner about some trust me bro. It is, of course, all about perception after all. He apparently aces the interview, but he's got to lie low until the interview airs. When Amy is at Desi's lake house, the music is sinister. Bad vibes.
Welcome.
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross said, Amy, watch out. Desi says that there are cameras everywhere. Anyone who is caught coming or going will be recorded.
And I am not letting you get away again.
Brother. Ew. The way she's just left one dangerous situation and ended up in a different kind of dangerous situation. He's telling her to go to the gym, even though from his perspective, she's malnourished and on the run. But go to the gym. Oh my God, bro. They sit down to watch Nick's talk show appearance.
I'm not a good guy. I was a bad husband to a great wife.
Amy's watching this like, what's he doing? I know that tie. I bought that watch. What would you like to say to Amy, Nick?
And I've taken myself to the woodshed for the way that I've treated you.
He's playing the game back. He says he loves her and he wants her to come home. She's watching this like, let's go! He's even doing their secret chin gesture through the screen. Girl, it's mastermind out here. So the interview goes well. But then the police turn up with a warrant for Margot's woodshed from the anonymous tip that Amy left. Ruh-roh. They arrest Margot to pressure Nick. They want a confession. Since they don't have a body, they need the confession. They start going through the evidence, running things from Amy's diary past Nick. The sugar story. True. You hit her. False. She tried to buy a gun. I don't know. And then the diary ending on this man may kill me.
In her own words, this man may kill me.
Kind of a convenient endnote.
And then the club from the fireplace. It came back from tests with Amy's blood all over it, so Nick gets arrested. Amy is in a different kind of hell. Desi's all up in her grill, saying he's going to move into the lake house with her. Cut to 13 days later, they've been living together. She's back to looking like cool girl Amy. Her bob has been activated. Desi heads off to work, but she roughs him up so that he'll be looking like this on the cameras outside. She then gets to work, making it look like he assaulted her. She's building a case of evidence. Nick and Margot are released on bail. Nick says,
Come home, baby. Right there.
That's an interesting line read. Apparently in the book, it's much more sinister, which links back to what I was saying about Ben Affleck at the start. We know Nick didn't kill Amy, but I never believed he did. I'm not convinced by Ben Affleck's performance as a potential wife killer. The thread of his opening voiceover is not carried through. Apparently in the book, he's seething with woman hate, which we don't really see in the film apart from comments like, I'm so sick of being picked apart by women. So even though Nick being lazy is part of the character, I feel like maybe Ben Affleck didn't make Nick sinister enough to balance it out. 8 more days later, Desi comes home. They start having sex. Then all of a sudden, she slices his throat with a box cutter and there's blood fucking everywhere. I obviously cannot show you that, but basically she's sitting on top of him covered in his blood. And her white lingerie is now a deep red, just like the peonies she planted in Nick's office. Boom. So she kills Desi. It's so sudden and so violent, but we've also sort of been having this build up the whole movie that something hectic will happen. 2 days later, Amy turns up at her and Nick's house. She apparently drove non-stop to get there, even though her outfit's different.
You fucking bitch.
The camera crews are freaking out. Imagine breaking that story. So, what happened? Amy says she was kidnapped. Desi came to the house the morning she disappeared and attacked her and clubbed her. Detective Umphy isn't buying the story. How would Desi get the club from Margot's woodshed? Oh, I must have been holding it when I opened the door. Right. Umphy's trying to ask about the woodshed, but Amy's like, so let's talk about how I was held prisoner at the mentally ill man's lake house. She slit his throat with a box cutter. How'd she manage to get hold of a box cutter if he had her tied up the whole time? Can't you just be happy your wife is home and safe? Amy, what about the diary? Oh, that's just like marriage stuff. I still love him though. Oh, Miss Dunn, why did you try to buy a gun then?
I'm sorry, I feel myself fading.
Lol. Amy goes home with her husband. She's running this press tour like the Navy with her perfectly placed bob. She knows exactly what to do. Like, there's the money shot. They get inside and drop the facade.
All right, you can stop pretending now.
I'm not pretending. You are perfect.
Bruh, they are made for each other. They're standing in the shower naked while she washes off the blood of the guy she murdered. She's doing this to make sure Nick's not wearing a wire, and she admits to killing Desi, not that anyone would believe Nick if he said she did. You went on national television and begged me to save your life, and I obliged. I mean, he probably was going to die, so she did save him. But who set that system up? He says he's going to leave her, and she says, I don't think so, honey. Think about the optics of that. Now he's the one going to sleep afraid of her.
Hello, Ensign.
She has trapped him. Good for her. She's calling the shots. Good for her. It's the situation they were in before, but different because she's in charge of the narrative.
Kiss my cheek.
She says that she'd never hurt Nick, but needs him to participate in the show. He tries to find a way out of it all, but Amy's got him tied up. She's coaching him on what to say in interviews, just like Tanner was.
So, Nick, how does it feel to have your wife back?
That's fantastic.
Fantastic's a little flippant.
It's still the media circus. At the end of the movie, Ellen Abbott comes over to interview them.
Icebreaker. To go with your robot dog?
A robot cat to match the robot dog Nick had bought and hid in the woodshed. Oh my god. Nick and Amy are back to being lifestyle robots. Boom! They're still performing married life, just a fucked up version. Also, Ellen Abbott coming back for the full story is an interesting commentary on how people in the media circus face little to no consequences for the shit they say, even when they're totally wrong. Just before the interview, Amy tells Nick that she's pregnant. Is she really? Did she save his samples from the fertility clinic?
I want a blood test. I want a paternity test.
I love tests.
In his rage, Nick slams Amy into the wall. That fruit looks familiar. They do the interview, and he tells Ellen Abbott that they're going to have a kid. Boom, ending.
What have we done to each other?
That scene mirroring the opening. Fincher said once more, but evil. Ultimately an insane and ridiculous and far-fetched and insane plot. Especially at the end of the second act when she kills Desi. From then it's just like spiraling into ridiculousness. But it's so good. It's delicious. It's a delicious movie. Very tasty. lots of different layers. I like how it's structured. Like Amy's revealed to be alive at the midpoint of the film. Here's a good quote from the book about that. The way she asserts herself is by disappearing, transforming from an afterthought to a structured absence. To be gone is not to be dead, but emancipated. Ooh! Tea. That reveal coming after flashbacks of her moving to Missouri and feeling so discarded and ready to be jettisoned, saying, I feel like I could disappear. It completely flips the story around and makes it a good rewatch too. But again, I do feel like Ben Affleck overdid the lazy, laid-back nature of Nick because you don't believe he killed her, or at least I didn't. He needed to be more sinister. He's just kind of giving dumb puppet, which I guess is what Nick Dunn is at the end of the day. Was Amy Dunn crazy? Sure. Did she serve Boots the house down? Yes, absolutely. Sometimes it's so exciting to watch an evil woman run circles around a lazy oaf of a man. This video is so long, I can tell. I've been sitting in this damn chair for so long. I just had so much to say, but thank you for watching. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it. If you have seen the movie, please let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Thanks again to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. That link is in the description. And I'll be seeing you guys soon.